Hello.
Hello. Welcome to No Sweat. This is the first podcast of us just, trying to do something new. My name is Cody.
My name is Hang.
I live in Boston. Hung also lives in Boston. We are a couple. We are dating. And, this is just a nice little thing for us to end our week. We're going to try to do this every Friday and just talk about things that are going on in our lives, things that are going on in the world. Yeah, we're calling the podcast No Sweat.
Can you explain to the people why we call the podcast No Sweat?
So I think No Sweat is a interesting way to say that you're not stressed, when in reality, life right now, especially during the pandemic, is just full of stresses. A lot of people working from home, a lot of people they have a very uncertain future ahead of them. With this whole coronavirus and everything going on, with people losing jobs and stuff, the world is changing rapidly and it's just very stressful. I think talking about something is the best way to truly express yourself and really get something out of you. So I think No Sweat is cool because I think at the end of every episode we're going to feel
released.
Yeah, relieved in a way. Yeah. So I think you should tell everybody a little bit about where you come from, because I think you come from a more interesting background than somebody like myself who was, just living in Massachusetts my whole life.
I think everybody have a special story. It's not like my story is more, interesting than yours or any other. I'm just from Vietnam, so it's far away from here. So the dynamic is different from yours. And another reason for me to really do this podcast is not only because I really want to document everything that we have gone through together and will go through together, but at the same time I want to practice English.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a beautiful way for you to practice English because, obviously we talk to each other every day, but I don't think I really push you to be better at English because I've already learned
how to understand you.
I've tuned my ear to understand you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I just feel like recently we don't really have a lot of interaction with other people because we are in the middle of a pandemic and we work a lot every day and just try to figure out ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
In this age, we just try to figure out ourselves. So, yeah, I think that is really good to use this podcast as a medium for us to express ourselves and interact with everybody out there.
Yeah, and I think that's my biggest anxiety about this whole thing is I'm the type of person where I'm very to myself. So especially when I used to live on my own, I would be by myself all the time and I would record voice memos as little journal entries for myself, something to listen back on, how I'm feeling in that moment, like where my emotions are at, what goals do I have, what do I find important. And it's interesting to look back on that and see the things that I was stressing about then are things that now I've taught myself to do regularly, and I don't really stress about it anymore.
Yeah.
So I think, but a podcast to me is now you're expressing that to people. When it's to yourself, you can figure it out, and I feel like people, if they catch something when it's on its ugly side, they instantly judge it. But if they don't see it again for 3 more years and it's a lot better, people love a story like that. But I find there's a lot of people that once they make that first judgment, it's until it's better, they don't feel good about it.
They don't feel it. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I worry about is because I'm a very open person and I like being an open person. I think that's what makes me very unique is that I'm very comfortable with myself. But having people judge me doesn't make me comfortable. Judging me because of who I am and what I've done and what I'm doing is my biggest.
Yeah. So I think what Cody is trying to say here is No Sweat in a way is a way for us to
remind ourselves.
Yeah, remind ourselves that yes, we do this podcast for you all to hear our story, but at the same time we don't have to sweat on whatever other people think about us.
Mm-hmm.
Accepting ourselves or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, we just came up with that name
randomly.
Yeah, very random. We just thought, this sweat. And then we say, okay, so the podcast gonna name No Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we were talking about old slang back in my day. And like when somebody was like really always on somebody, like not even like a way that they're like flirting with them, even in a way where it's like you're calling somebody a name all the time, you look at that person and be like, why are you sweating me right now?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that was a very 90s thing. So it's like to not have sweat
Yeah.
for anything is like makes you very,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, grounded.
Yeah. Very true. I love that. And yeah, so from now on, the podcast gonna name No Sweat, and the message will be No Sweat, guys. Life is good.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to vote. And,
Oh, that's a big thing.
yeah. It's first time I've ever voted before. I think what makes me feel like I need to actually voice my opinion in this one is because I disagree with him, the current one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not even about I like Biden. I don't even understand politics at all. I just know a politician won't fuck up in the way that Trump potentially can fuck up right now. And that scares me.
Yeah.
You know, having somebody like Donald Trump in office, like he had a show where he would just fire people. You know what I mean? Like somebody would do a good job, but there was only 4 people left on the show. So we had to fire someone.
Yeah.
You know, he would just
Yeah.
drop them just cause. And I know it's all scripted, but
Yeah. I really don't understand why other people can vibe with him, like can actually like him and vote for him.
mm-hmm.
I just think like he is obviously a liar.
I don't think they vibe with him. I think they're his yes men. Like people around him that look at him as he's bigger than me, so I should respect him.
Since we're gonna post this postcard out there, and we're not sure who is our audience, so just want to give you guys a little bit of background. From my point of view, I'm also a person, like a middle person who came from another country. I don't really know a lot about American politics.
Mm-hmm.
But since I came here, it has been 3 years already, and I feel like the politics in America is the most complex thing
Yeah.
in this country.
It's confusing with all the 2 different parties, and then there's different branches and all that stuff, like all that. I don't understand it. I don't study it for a reason because it's so complex. That's why I haven't voted. I didn't vote because I didn't understand any of this. I don't know what conservative is. I don't know what left wing, right wing, what that means. Who are you as a person?
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm going to vote for somebody to run a world that I'm living in, I'm going to want somebody that is the best person. You know, not necessarily because of the money that they make or anything like that, but because of who they are and what they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Like what morals do I want to be surrounded, and that's like the standard for the society is what that person believes in.
I feel like I'm such an outsider. So when I try to look at the American president at the moment, I always try to find a good thing about him. At first, I always try to find a good side. Like, he must be there for a reason or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's because of the media controlling things or whatever. But I don't really see a lot of good thing about him.
Yeah.
Even when I watch him directly on, I still feel like whatever he's trying to say is not really delivered in the way that I can like normally process.
Let me ask you a question then. You believing that way, do you look at Donald Trump and think that he is a reflection of America? Do you think that the people chose him? Like, do you think majority of people would honestly say that they like Donald Trump as their president? Would you believe that?
Part of me believe that it must be a certain amount of people who must vote for him, at least, right? And they have to like him in order to vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like what he promised to the people to vote for him.
Right.
And in another way, it's hard to tell what in Donald Trump that other people like. I can't really point out.
I don't think it's because people like him. I think that's a very short list on anybody's list of things that they like about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but they hate politics, I guess.
I have a list of things that I like about Donald Trump. It's just one thing. It's that he's not a politician. That's the only check mark that Donald Trump is hitting on my like perfect list of what I want a president to look like. I want somebody that moral, like what's good for the people. Like if there's a bunch of money at disposal for America,
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody who's going to look at all that money and go, okay, how can I divide this to actually help people? Instead, Jeff Bezos is freaking the richest man. You know how rich he is? Jeff Bezos? What he's worth? Do you know what he's worth?
I think it's trillion something.
No, it's billion.
Billion?
But it's 100+ billion. Whole countries could run with that money. That's not a little bit of money. That's a lot of money. I guarantee you, if I can go to the brokest area of Africa, I could actually take that money and make something with it. And it would go so far for them.
So back to the point that you like Donald Trump because he's not a politician. And then it's because he's actually a businessman. And you hope that he can actually divide the money in a way that support. I mean, is that what you would try to say?
Not about Donald Trump. That's not what I want. I don't want him to do that. I didn't think that Donald Trump going in there as a non-politician was going to take all the money and divide it amongst everybody. I knew Donald Trump was a businessman. I went to Atlantic City one time where Donald Trump built a big casino. And it was such a beautiful casino. I went there shortly after it closed already because I had a show that I was filming. And there was an Uber driver that we had that was bringing us to like where the event was. And he was telling us as we were driving by Trump Tower, he said that Donald Trump destroyed New Jersey, the state, because of like what he did to get that casino built. And then he just closed it.
What?
He just opened it. It was, I don't know how long it was open for, but it looked pretty new. Like it looked nice. It was huge. It was called the Golden Nugget, I think. Donald Trump's Golden Nugget. And it was so big. It was like just as tall as like some of the buildings that we walk around near Boston. And he just closed it and he ruined it. And so Donald Trump has done that with a lot of his businesses where he just closes them down and somehow he's allowed to be president. I'm sure he's had a lot of successes, but that doesn't mean that his failures are severely affecting things and he's done nothing to help with that. You know what I mean? He's building golf courses in China and he's like doing all these things while he's president. Like, is that fucking important right now? None of that is important. Like, there was a whole pandemic going on and we're learning that you're building golf courses? That's crazy.
Yeah. And he keeps saying that it will be fine, it will be okay. He keeps saying that 4 or 5 different times. It's not okay.
It's not. It's not. Not at all. But that's the world we live in right now, where Donald Trump could be president. You know, look at Kanye. Kanye is running for president. He's already like on some ballots. And I know that's all news that's like teaching us that. And the big number of Kanye West supporters is very tiny in compared to what it takes to be a president.
Yeah.
You know?
But still, for him to be able to run for president is something that really...
Very American.
Yeah.
Like, look at, you were born not into this, and you went for it. But I think the thing with just the average American being a president, I'm not saying Kanye's average at all. Like, obviously, he's achieved amazing things. But Kanye West was born like all of us, you know? Not into the system.
Exactly.
He was part of a system, obviously, but it was a system for where he was from, but not the system of politics. If somebody like him were to get into politics and actually become president and learn all the dirt in the world, it probably changes a man. And the thing about Donald Trump is, like, he hasn't looked like it has fazed him at all. I've noticed in my short life, I've seen Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And then now Donald Trump. All of those presidents, it's 4 years. And for George W. Bush and for Barack Obama, it was 8 years. So in those 8 years, they came out visibly different. Like, their hair was extremely gray. Obviously, you get older, especially at that age. Like, that's when that stuff starts happening naturally. But there's an old saying in America where, oh, you're giving me grays because you're stressing me out. All the shit that they're learning is probably stressful.
Stress them out.
So
we'll be sweating them.
Yes, they're sweating. They're sweating hard. And I feel like with Donald Trump, he hasn't looked like it's fazed him because he's a dirtbag already. He's already a guy who does shady stuff. So learning about shady stuff, he really is like not fazed by it. He's just like throwing lies in other directions, and maybe he's throwing some truths about some things. Like when he said that the vice president used to sleep in the basement of the White House. I don't know if many people caught that, but Joe Biden like just shook his head, and I noticed like the way he shook his head, it was like because it was kind of true.
Ah, you think so?
I think so.
I think it was because he thinks that this guy is so ridiculous.
He is a clown.
Yeah.
But there's some things that he says, I know he's not like Donald Trump maybe makes some shit up, but it's off of knowledge that he got from somewhere else. You know, so Donald Trump probably heard, now that he's in here, he's hearing that Biden was like making deals with Iraq and he stole $5 million, or not stole, he was given. And he was also making money from Putin.
Yeah.
You know, and now he's trying to say that he was sleeping in the basement.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't really believe like him taking money. I don't know if that's called embezzlement. I think that's what it's called. But when you take money in a way that he did, I don't think that's true. But I think the sleeping in the basement thing, I can picture the White House. It was built so freaking long ago. How renovated do you think it is? You know, the basement probably back then in the 1960s was so nice.
Yeah, maybe the way he's talk about the basement make it look so bad, but maybe it's like a big basement where everybody sleep in the basement.
It could be, yeah. We're in the middle of, we're 20 minutes into our first podcast.
And we talk a lot about politics.
And we talk a lot about politics, but that's because it just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it just happened yesterday. It's something that's very real that's happening in America right now, and it shouldn't be avoided. So I think it's just so important for people to really voice their opinion. You know, and Hung was telling me earlier today, and I forgot who she said this, but the person said it's not important for you to go out and vote for somebody that you like. It's important for you to vote so that the person you don't like isn't there.
Exactly.
And I think that's extremely important. Like,
yeah.
I would trust the government more than I would trust Donald Trump in a time like this to make sure that we actually figure stuff out, you know? Because in times of heat, like, America has come together. And this time, America has not come together. And I think that's due to us being very divided. Like, when 9/11 happened, there was never a more time that I felt like more unity, like, as a person. Like, everybody felt that shit. Like, everybody came together and was, like, really, you felt the energy. Like, you felt the energy of, like, damn, like, this is real. Like, let me know if you need anything. And you actually felt that they meant it. I didn't feel that with the pandemic. Like, talking to a person is scary now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared to just, like, talk to somebody. Like, I went to lunch with a coworker yesterday. And in the middle of us walking to our destination, I was like, is it cool if I just remove my mask, like, for a second?
Yeah.
So I can breathe, like, while we walk.
Oh.
You know, and it felt weird to have that instinct to, like, I have to be afraid of, like, the air that's around me.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I feel like, yeah, that is a contrast here that I really want to point out. That even though we really have to practice social distancing, but at the same time, we do that not only for ourselves, but also for other people too.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really interesting here that we don't want to be close to people, but because we want to protect us, like both of us. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. My CEO always say that if there's one thing during this time, during the pandemic, that she learned, she think that it is the power of community. Really, like the community. If you just stay at home, you can help other people to not get infected by the virus. Yeah.
And I feel like the people who take that more seriously early, the faster things are going to get better, you know? And I think that's the scariest part of this whole thing is that you don't know when it's going to end. You know, like America has gotten through plagues, they have gotten through diseases and things, and we've gotten past it. You know, we figured it out. We got the vaccine. I don't trust Trump to find the vaccine. And I don't mean to bring it back to politics, but the way he's handled it is just so bad. Like, he's just putting it off. Oh, it's not that bad. 200,000. 200,000 is a lot more than it should have been.
Yeah.
We're America. We're supposed to be the leader in medical, like, war, army and shit. Like,
I don't know why, but Donald Trump used a lot of comparison. When I come to America, one of the things that I have learned here is that we shouldn't compare ourselves with any other person out there. And we just, in general, shouldn't make any comparison at all. Of course, except in terms of data or reporting or whatever. But, you know, in like a personal level. We don't compare. But he make a lot of comparison. Like, I'm the
least racist person in the
I'm
room.
the least racist person in the room. And then keep use comparison as a way to make people look bad and he look better. Better than anyone else. Better than the people who vote for him or not vote for him.
Right. So when I'm watching the debate, I'm really looking at how they psychologically like process things. Like, not just like their reactions, like Donald Trump's reactions to things is like why people like him, because they're just so not political. A president like making groaning faces like when somebody says something about him, like you're supposed to be above all that. You know, like the thing about politics is that politics has been doing dirty shit for a long time, but they still at least smile in our face and make us feel comfortable. Donald Trump doesn't do that. You know, he's just throwing blame left and right.
Exactly.
And it's so hard to watch. And then when I watch him talk about himself, he just tries to sell himself.
Exactly.
He's literally being a businessman where he's trying to sell himself to us by telling us all these great things that he's done.
Exactly.
And we're supposed to just take it on the chin and be like, you're right.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, you've done all these amazing things. Oh my God, you're so good. No, that's not it. And he was talking about this very secret cure that I got. It's not a cure. They call it therapy. He said. And it's this very special thing. Well, if there's hundreds of thousands of people dying and it just cured you in a matter of a day and you were leaving the hospital in 24 hours, what's good? Hold up. You said you got COVID and 2 days later you didn't have to wear a mask and you're above it all again? You know, like nothing to worry about? Like, okay, well, Joe Biden has a point. There are tons of people who are affected by this. And yes, he's using the stupid analogy of, somebody is sitting at home and you don't have a family member and you should have reached to the right and instinctively and they weren't there because of coronavirus. Like that, okay. You don't need to like play the violin.
That's a little bit too much.
It's too heavy, you know? But I get what he's saying. Like, it is a very real thing that affects a lot of people very personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's Joe Biden's best chance of winning is really going for the people. Because the people right now who are actually good don't have somebody to look up to. You know, we have Trump, and nobody with an actual conscience is going to look at Donald Trump and be like, I'm going to follow this man. I love this man. Nobody's going to do that. So we don't have anybody to, like, really see. You know, like, when you're in Vietnam, like, is there people in Vietnam that are, like, leaders that you actually look up to?
Yeah, of course. The leader of our healthcare system, he did a great job. You know, in the whole country, we have almost 1,200 cases and just below 40 people who died. Our country is so small, but we have a lot of people in our country.
Right, very compact too.
Exactly.
It's very, very close. So even in an environment like that where you can get it controlled, that means you guys are at least doing something right.
We just do it really, really early. We are the early person in the game.
Do you guys wear masks naturally?
Yeah, that's why people make fun of us all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true.
Yeah, people make fun of Asian people because of wearing masks all the time. But again, it's because of the climate in our country. It's really, really hot. And because of the pollution. And we don't have a lot of electric vehicle in our country. So we use a lot of like motorbike or the scooter. Yeah, so we always use that. And you guys make fun of us all the time.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and seeing an Asian person wear a mask. Even when I saw them, if like I went with my mom to go get her nails done, they'd be wearing a mask. I'd be like, I don't know, it just kind of looks weird. Like I'm so used to like seeing somebody's face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now masks, I can't go anywhere without my mask. I actually feel comfortable knowing that I'm safe. If I wear it. Like, I'd rather be safe than go out and be able to see people, you know?
Exactly. And I'm so afraid that maybe I have the virus and it's just not showing any symptom, but I might have it, I might carry it, and I might carry it for other people.
Right.
So I better take care of me and other people too.
Because they say that it doesn't really affect people in our demographic. So we really shouldn't worry. Well, we have worries as a carrier.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I was starting to feel like a little bit weird, so I got a test just to ease my mind. And they told me I didn't have it. But it doesn't put me in the clear. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I can start hugging my family again.
Yeah.
You know, because if God forbid I get my grandmother sick or something, like I'll feel awful, like
Exactly.
knowing that I was the one that made that happen.
Yeah. Since you talk about this, it takes really long time to you to have the test result, which is very weird to me. Like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah. To make sure, and Donald Trump, you know, got tested, diagnosed, and cured in that same time period.
It is no, even shorter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when he got tested, you know. I'm sure they tested him before the debate.
Yeah.
And then they found out like 3 days or whatever it was after the debate, you know. I think the fun part about doing a podcast is that it's really just something so simple.
Yeah, it's very simple in compare with doing a video.
Yeah. Like, I think talking is something that I could just do. I talk to myself. You know what I mean? So I used to just record myself on my drives to work, like after I had, you know, a rough night. And I would just literally talk the whole time, just about everything that's going on. It became like a therapy for me, you know? It's like sometimes you just call your best friend just because you want to talk about something that's going on. You know, I don't think it's because you trust that person. I think it's because you just know that that person will listen. And even if they're not listening, they'll at least give you the time to get it out. You know, and I think that's the important part, is getting it out. Our brains can drive us crazy thinking about the same thing, but the second I've faced any of my true anxieties and I've actually jumped at it with an open mind, I realized it wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be. Like, it may still stress me out, but not like it used to.
It's really good for you to actually can talk with yourself, because I cannot. And I'm just going to drive myself crazy with all my thoughts, because I just don't know how to release all of the thought into words.
Yeah. I think one thing about our relationship that I can appreciate is that you're a very good person to, I use the word combat, but that doesn't mean that we're fighting. You know, like, you're somebody you're like a challenge, you know, and I love a challenge ever since I was a kid. Like, I love somebody who would just, like, if I was being a witty asshole and I was just trying to, like, make fun of somebody and somebody gave it back to me, I used to love that, you know, because we would just push back and forth, like, see how far, like, we can go until one of us, like either laughs and just admits that they lost, or like gets offended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You like that
adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah.
Can you teach me again?
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
Yes, adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's not pronounced the way it's wrote.
Yeah, a lot of words, like, in the English language aren't like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really just about, I don't know, spelling words out is really easy.
Yeah.
But you have to learn, like, the different variations of, like, certain words being put together. Like, there's different variations of how to say it.
Variation is one thing. But now I'm going to tell you one thing that I'm really bad at, which is when people say, look up, look for, look into. Oh, I don't know. Like, sometimes I just mess up.
Because they all kind of mean the same thing? Is that what you think?
No, they mean very different, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like...
So why does it stress you out? Is it that...
Because I can't remember. Like, it's... Look...
Are you focusing on the word look?
No, I'm focusing on the other word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if someone says look for something, so which one do you struggle with the most? I
don't really struggle at understanding it. I'm very struggle at using it on a daily basis.
Which one to use?
Yes. Which one? Like, I guess because I have to go through the process of translate in my head. So when the conversation go by so fast, it's just like this.
Yeah.
I will get messed up.
It's so natural to me. So it's like if we were to do this podcast in 3 years and I were to do it in Vietnamese, it would be awful.
No way. I think you're going to be good.
You think in 3 years I would learn Vietnamese? And be fluent enough to speak and actually... You see how emotional I speak? You think I'd be able to do that in Vietnamese, like, without having to process or translate? There's no way.
So I have to tell you guys one thing about Cody, one thing that is out of the majority, is his memory. That's crazy. Like, he can remember every single thing. How many number do you remember after the pi?
101. Yeah.
Guys, 101.
But that was just like a small thing that we did when I was a kid. Like my math class randomly had
Even like
a
when he was a kid.
competition.
Oh my god.
Well, when I was a kid, it was the best, you know, because my brain was just blank and I wanted something to play with and to focus on. I always thought my mom got me tested when I was younger for ADHD, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, yeah, there's no way this kid has ADHD because look at him sitting in this office. He's like so attentive and he's not bouncing around. But that's just completely, yes, it's true. Like when I'm in a moment, nobody would ever know.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm in a moment, like when something is engaging,
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, but I lose it so quick. Like I lose it so fast. Like if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're not engaging enough, like my brain literally just be like, I'm bored. Like let's think about something else while this person's talking to me because I can rely on my autopilot skills.
Yeah.
I can rely on that to get me through while I'm zoning out.
But that's actually the boundary to the people who got the issue and the person who doesn't have it. So the person who have it is a person who can't even control that. When something is interesting, super interesting, he cannot focus his mind.
I think ADHD is just it's attention deficit hyper disorder, you know? It's just your ability to pay attention. And my ability to pay attention is, if we're talking about overall, do I have good attention? No, I don't. I'm not always there. Like I can drive like almost on autopilot mode where I'm like not even really focused on driving because driving has become so simple to me. I'll catch myself a lot. I used to drive to Albany, New York from Massachusetts, and it used to take me 3.5 hours. Would drive that whole way and I would just, basically zone out like while I'm going, just listen for the GPS, be like, okay. And then I'll pay attention like while the next exit's coming up.
Then you might have to go back to the doctor one day then.
But I've lived with it, you know what I mean? It's never gotten me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. Like when we almost got in that car accident the other day.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's one is creepy.
From the moment it was about to happen, like the moment it was all going down, we were about to get in a crazy car accident. But the moment it was all like happening, like it was like an instinct. Like my brain literally slowed down like everything as it was happening, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna change lanes, like, and then these other 3 cars just crash into each other right behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and like just exact 3 seconds before the car accident happened, Cody looked at me dead in the eye and he said, "It will be an accident." And then boom, it was really big car accident, and then we had to turn right and go.
So basically what happened was we were driving normally on the highway at like 75 miles an hour in the fast lane, and in Boston there's a split that comes up as you get more north, and the left side of the split was backed up with traffic, and we take the right side to go home. So the 2 cars that were behind me kept going in the fast lane as I switched lanes. And when I switched lanes, there was already dead stop traffic, like almost like 2 car lengths in front of us. And they were going 75. I was already slowing down because I was about to go to the right side lane. So they just completely missed the fact that there was dead stop traffic and these 2 cars like completely collided into the car that was in front of them. And the one that was behind the car that was behind us ended up flipping into our lane right in front of us. And it was just like a movie. Like the way it all happened, like it was just so crazy. Like I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah.
I was like in the middle of the night, it kept flashing in my head like that exact moment. Yeah. Like as it happened.
Do you guys ever have a moment in life where you think like the death is so close? So I think at that point I thought that okay, so it really, really close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought we were feet, you know. We were 1 car away from that accident. Like if I didn't change the lanes, like right there, like that was us. You know what I mean? Like I saw that everybody in front of us was slowing down, so I was like, let me change lanes. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And they just completely didn't see that.
That's crazy.
And it was like they flew by us so fast, and when they drove by us, babe, I knew that everybody was already stopped on that side. So that's why I looked at you and I was like, this is going to be an accident. Because these guys just flew by us going so fast. Oh, it's so crazy. And that stuff makes me scared to drive because it's not, I don't worry about myself. I'll never do anything to jeopardize my ability to like operate that weapon. Because that is crazy. I can hit somebody with that thing at any moment and just end them.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. So I would never jeopardize and put myself in a position where I would actually do that. I worry about other people. I worry about everybody else. You've driven with me. You hear me call people assholes and like stupid names all the time because they drive so dumb. They're putting us all in danger by being dumb like that.
Yeah. It's scary, yeah.
Car accidents are no fucking joke. And that's I just said our first F word of the podcast.
No, you just said that right in the beginning. You say like Donald Trump is so fucking something.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you say
I
that.
said the F word? Cool.
Yeah.
I'm a cool ass kid.
Oh, this made me think about one day in a company meeting, I say, I just want to put everything in this sheet. And that what I mean is like, I just want to put everything in this spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah.
The sheet.
And then people think that I say shit.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, this is the first time I hear Hang swear. Hang, that's funny. And I'm like,
I didn't swear.
Yeah, I didn't dare to say that I didn't swear. I'm just like quiet the whole time.
Like, why didn't you say anything?
I just feel like everybody was already having fun because of me swearing.
So why didn't you
extent.
correct them?
To be honest with you, because I don't know how to correct. Like, I really have the issue of saying the word shit.
I said shit. And they're going to be like, what? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be very awkward.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sheet, e.
Yeah.
And
This spreadsheet.
Sheet, yeah.
Sheet.
Yeah.
And
it
then,
sounds like you're saying shit, though. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you can get away with it. There was a commercial from, I think it was Kohl's. And they had a guy who was buying pants. And then somebody who works at Kohl's walks up to him and goes, oh, are you going to ship your pants? And they're like, what? They're like, yeah, I love shipping my pants. I ship my pants all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like they were saying,
Sit.
yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were saying ship.
Ship.
You can ship these pants. You can come and buy pants and ship them to your house. But
Ship is actually much easier than sheet.
I know.
Sheet.
Well, there's so you know how we say sometimes like we say something as like a big ass thing.
Yeah, big ass.
Oh, but like, that's a big ass problem. Oh, that's a big ass bug or something. Well, they also had another commercial that was they also sold gas at this place. I don't think it's Kohl's because Kohl's definitely doesn't sell gas. Mm-hmm. But they were like, oh, you can get these. Oh, look at these big gas savings. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can save a lot of money with all these big gas savings.
Yeah.
So that one was really clever.
Yeah, that's fun.
So a lot of words do sound similar.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Like last time you taught me about how to say Tim as a person and
Team?
team as team.
Tim and team, yeah.
Yeah. Like, so my team is doing well. And then, hey, Tim, how are you?
Yeah. Tim. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta like cut it off.
Yeah. So I always have to do it really extra so that it will be right eventually. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like now when I say team, I can say team. I say, hi, Tim.
Yeah, I think the American language is tough. It's easy when you're born into it because it's like so simple.
I think language is tough in general, like any language. I look at the Chinese language and I feel like it's so difficult to write them.
Yeah, I think writing in calligraphy is completely difficult for any language. You know, typing is the greatest thing I've ever experienced. I'll probably never write a paper again. I can't remember the last time I even signed anything. The last time I had to put my signature on something, I had to remind myself how to write my signature because I was like, writing is just so not part of the everyday life anymore. Mm-hmm. Like it's not. It used to be, as a kid, they used to tell us, be like, oh, you better get used to writing because when you get to college, you have to write everything in cursive. When I got to college, they were like, yeah, type out a 5-page paper.
Yeah.
It was like nothing.
But I really wish that the kid can still learn writing, like good writing at school.
I think it's important when you're developing English or language, as you should. If you're learning language and how to communicate, I think writing is the most important part because you're literally building it as you do it.
And you think too.
Yeah. Sometimes when I type, I just type. You know what I mean? I'm not even focused on like proper word formatting and stuff. Like I'm just saying, like, yeah, this is blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cool that you swore in one of your meetings that you had.
I didn't even swear.
Yeah.
But it's
My
fine.
company is really cool. My company's like, they don't swear at the big company meeting, but all the small meetings I've had, like people just ripping bombs like all the time.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. And it's cool. I like that. I like an environment where I still understand what they're saying. You know what I mean? And they're not saying it aggressively towards anybody. They're using it to emphasize something. And it's a word at the end of the day. And there's certain words we shouldn't use at the office. You know what I mean? But I think saying fuck, shit, not fuck. Fuck is different. Like, I think it's very powerful. But like saying shit is like the coolest of all the swears. You know, because shit could be anything. Like, look at this shit. Like, I got shit over there. Like, shit this. Like, I got mad shit to do. Like, all this stuff. Like, everything. Like, shit is the shit.
Babe, so can you say one sentence that include 4 shit?
A sentence that includes 4 shits.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you won't believe this shit. Like, I woke up this morning, I had to shit so bad. So when I'm walking over there, I noticed that we don't have any more of the toilet paper shit left. So I was like, shit, like, what am I going to do? I don't know.
Babe, that's too easy. That is 4 different sentences.
One sentence says shit 4 times?
Exactly.
That's difficult.
So you can say that this shit is so shitty to the point that I shit my shitty pen. It's too much.
You got a comma in there. I was like, yeah, it was a sentence. But yeah, it's tough to put words together, especially in the American language. Like I think we were talking about this the other day, where sometimes it's not the word you say, it's the emotion you put behind it. I used to go to work all the time, and I would say good morning to people. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you say, oh, good morning, Hung, how you doing? Sometimes you walk in, you're just like, morning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here. You know what I mean? I'm here to work. Like, we're working. Like, I'm not here to have a good time. Yeah. Like,
it's the beauty of language.
I think it's the beauty of expression.
Yeah, and sarcasm also is a part of it.
Yeah. My ability to read people is my ability to understand what somebody's like trying to portray. Mm-hmm. You know, I think us as humans, like, we're so complicated. Like, I've met some amazing people, but I bet if I met those same amazing people on their worst day, it wouldn't have been such a good interaction for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'm trying to think of some of my best interactions that I've ever randomly had. And it's just times, and honestly, sometimes it's the taxi driver that I have, you know what I mean, in a place that I visit. And it's just a conversation that they're willing to have with me, and it's so rich. It's so rich with, like, peopleness, like, not just, like, this automatic bullshit that we all spew out all the time, like, the small talk that we have, like, oh, hey, like, I think the real conversation with somebody starts after you say, hey, how are you? After you both say, like, I'm good, like, I'm chilling, blah, 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 and you say, like, maybe a follow-up thing, like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? The real conversation starts after all those automatic things come out, you know, because then you really learn, does this person want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Because all that other stuff, I've gotten so good at coming up, oh, maybe today I'm going to say good when they ask me how I am. Maybe I'm going to say, I'm chilling, or something, you know what I mean? Like, I have so many different options when they ask me.
Yeah. So in Vietnam, when we learn English at school, they only teach us one thing, babe. We always say, how are you? And the person supposed to answer, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm good, thank you. And you? Mm-hmm. Like, it's always like that. So, yeah, it's so repetitive for us. So when I come here, I learn so many new things. I'm doing well. I'm hanging there. I'm chilling.
Yep. I think then that's funny that you say that, because I think the thing that you say to people often that I notice is, like, the most comfortable thing for you to say is, how are you? You say that all the time. And but, like, the way you say it is, like, more, like, you don't have to think. Like, it's an automatic thing.
Exactly. But I think that's the way people use it as a way to start the conversation all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. So I love that. Like, in our country, we're not going to ask people that. Bạn có khỏe không? That's so weird when you ask a person that you just meet yesterday or even just meet this morning.
Why?
I don't
Is
know.
it weird to just consider somebody else
So if I
in your
change,
country?
so we just say hi, we say hello. We don't ask that.
Right. Why? Is it like
It's just
offensive?
not a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like in our country, we talk about other people weight. Like, oh, you look a little bit skinny this day. Or
So
something
instead
like
of
that.
asking them how they are, you guys will tell them how you feel
No.
they are.
But no, it's very depends. I don't want to say that. But my point here is sometimes like after 2-3 years you haven't met a person, you can say, oh, you look a little bit skinny than the last time I see you. Something like that.
Yeah.
But you don't start a conversation like, how are you? Yeah, it's just not a casual thing to say. Really.
But do you think it's like offensive?
No, it's not offensive at all. It's just weird. Like you.
But why is it weird? That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Yeah, like because it's such a natural thing for us.
So
if I were to go to Vietnam and I were to talk to somebody, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like that's just.
You can say that in English and that makes a lot of sense. But if you say that translated in Vietnamese, then it's, I don't know. It's just too formal.
Too formal?
Yeah, it's a little bit formal.
Asking somebody how they are? Dang.
Come on, but like I'm just saying that if you translate that into Vietnamese,
That's like so casual. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So that's the difference of the language. That's the beauty of language. That you don't use the same term in different country. In my country, when you say yes or no, you're not gonna say yes, no, to the people who are older than you. You have to respect them. Yeah. Say the word yes in a very respectful way. Let's say you will say, vâng ạ. And try to be good, okay? And if you say that with a friend or very casual, you can say
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that when you call Twee, like sometimes you just respond like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like a
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just funny. It's funny to hear it in person and to like know that you guys are communicating is so cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. Because I don't experience that.
Yeah. So you guys don't have the thing. I don't know. We have some kind of extra word. So we don't say Thúy, but I say Thúy ơi. You know what I mean? And you always, you always mimic me and make fun of us about that.
I don't make fun of you. It's just copycat.
Fun,
it's just copycat. I'm just doing it because that's what I hear. You know what I mean? And I want to be involved in whatever the hell you guys are doing.
So the ơi doesn't have any meaning.
Yeah, it's like a silent letter in American. So it doesn't have any meaning, but so why would you add it? Like, so obviously you have different words to show respect to the person. Mm-hmm. Like how we have Mr. and Mrs. and Doctor and stuff like that. You guys have like bot and like all these other things. Chi, I hear you say chi all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think is maybe always like you showing respect to somebody that's on your level.
Not respect, but like friendly.
Friendly, yeah. So that's like a how you doing? How you doing it? How you doing to us? So in America, if I say how you doing to somebody, like I'm showing that like that's my version of like being friendly because I actually give a shit about you. You know what I mean? In this moment, like I give a shit to ask. Like so that's me being friendly. I think friendliness and kindness is like completely different and confused in America. Like I'm being nice or like I'm just being like friendly. You know what I mean?
I think it's like...
I think friendly is like you're trying
friendly or politely.
Yeah. Well, I think politely is like I can be polite and completely not want to do it.
Exactly.
You know, but being friendly is a choice. You know what I mean? Like being friendly is
polite is also a choice.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Would you ever call your mom and never call her the word that you're supposed to call her? You know what I mean? To show that respect.
Because I already choose to respect my mom.
Yeah.
And show her the
I choose to respect people above me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that is the thing that you can choose. Yeah. That's what I think, yeah.
But it's a choice, but it's a choice that you made a long time ago. So it's not like it's an option. You know what I mean?
I can make that option with my roommate. I can polite with this girl, but if she not play well with me, she talk shit about me, I'm not going to be polite with her.
Yeah, you can turn it off when it's not warranted, but then you don't respect that person anymore. You know what I mean? I'm saying politeness, I always start and deliver with it. I lead with it, I lead with politeness because that's what makes me feel good as like doing my part in the community, like to show that kindness is still around. But it doesn't mean that if somebody tells me to go fuck myself, that I'm going to be like, yes, sir, have a fantastic day. You know, like blah, blah, blah. At that point, it's fuck you too. Like, you know, it does like we can go from how you doing to fuck you in a matter of 10 seconds over here.
I really need to turn on this.
Yeah. We've been going for exactly an hour
We should still go.
in 20 seconds.
I'm not gonna cut a lot. I feel like it's really good talk.
Yeah, it's a nice flow. I think it's interesting to record yourself. You know, it's such an interesting concept to remember something to the 100th degree. Every word, every pause, break, breath. Like you remember that whole moment because you're recording it. But I think the cool part about doing a podcast is that it feels like you're just being in the moment.
Because you don't have to show off anything.
You're just talking.
And me and you are both the kind of people who easy to talk with and want to talk, want to communicate.
Yeah. I'm a talker. I love talking. I think it's just nice to just spew some crap out every now and then.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning into No Sweat.
No sweat.
So yeah, this was fun. I think I'd like to do it again at some point. I think podcasts are cool. How do you feel?
I think it's really, really cool, especially for the people like us who really want to share and really want to know what other people think too. So if you guys have any comment below.
Yeah, and I just think honestly, just listening is like the best thing that anybody can do. Necessarily, I think if just somebody wants to listen to you and they enjoy listening to you, I think that's the ultimate like appreciation. You know, I don't need feedback at that point because the feedback is there already. Somebody's listening to it. You know,
That's very true. Yeah, but at the same time, we also want to know what people want to, like, I want other people to be in this conversation too.
I think that's important. I think the important part for us though, starting out, is just having fun with it, because nobody's gonna give us suggestions about things if they don't even hear that we're comfortable enough and enjoy it.
Yeah,
I think we did a good job today of feeling.
Yeah, I feel good, and I feel good. You feel good. It's just the best thing that we can do.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll try to do this weekly. I think it's a good a good promise to ourselves, and I think it's just a good thing to end our week with. Every Friday we just do something like this, and we go into the weekend open-minded, clear, calm, collected, no sweat.
No sweat.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you guys.
Bye bye.